Today I want to talk about how narcissistic parents create battle of the sexes. Narcissistic parents, as you are most probably already aware, cannot love their children, they cannot love their partners, they cannot love anyone, mostly because they do not love themselves. They do not have a healthy sense of self-love. Children will see this lack of love that they do not receive as an indication that they are shameful, unlovable, that they are incapable of being loved. Oftentimes they will scapegoat their insecurities, their flaws, their vulnerabilities, their differences as the cause of not getting this love. But in reality, the true cause is the true perpetrator, I should say, the true reason why they're not getting this love is because they're not given it by the parent. Children tend to do this. They self-blame, they self-abuse, they self-reject, and ultimately they blame themselves for not getting this love and turn inward on themselves. There is usually an extreme shame, specifically around sexuality, which begins to make a person feel inadequate as their specific gender. And I speak about this in the trauma and its effect on sexual identity in a separate podcast. I discuss how the sexual self is not able to develop. A person is not able to develop a sexual identity, and therefore, because of this insufficient blueprint from their parents who have not reflected back this loving and caring sense of sexuality, and therefore this sense of self gets distorted. Partners in adulthood are going to most usually trigger this sexual shame and this underdeveloped sense of sexuality. It creates a sort of distortion that all men, if you're a woman, or all women, if you're a man, are bad, evil, pigs, need to be destroyed, and ultimately the cause of their distortions and dysfunction. In reality, oftentimes sexuality and love get mixed up, and there kind of creates a sort of, if I'm sexually attractive or if I'm loved, if I'm appreciated sexually, then I am loved. This is a distortion. The reality is that sex should be an expression of love. And this, again, comes back to the fact that sex and love has not been connected, mostly because parents have not reflected this back to the child in a healthy way. This creates a very difficult cognitive dissonance, a very difficult double bind, where the child and then later on the adult will become, or say the adult, will become attracted to the opposite sex, but will also be abhorred by the shame that their partner or potential prospects for partners will make them feel. Because the issue is difficult to identify, then relationships get oftentimes destroyed, and there's great chaos because these uncomfortable feelings are getting brought up to the surface. And because no one has ever gotten as close to the wounded individual, specifically sexually speaking, as the parent did, these wounds will oftentimes lay dormant until a relationship shows up that is intimate, and ultimately these wounds of childhood will get ripped open. Because communication of the causes never really happens, as this would take obviously self-reflection and really becoming aware of how trauma affects one's sexual identity, there'll be frustration, hate, anger, which is often projected onto the sexuality of the partner or the opposite sex in general. For narcissistic abusers, sex becomes a conquest. There is no vulnerability, there's no true love, obviously, and there's just a winner and a loser, with the winner taking control. So control is the prize. Sex becomes a proxy for dominance, which is a way of protecting the individual from inner sexual shame, body shame, performance shame, you name it. So by taking control of the sexual arena, they will never have to face the fact that they feel less than, or they'll feel shameful about their sexuality. This serves as a defense. Sex actually serves as a way of protecting themselves from true connection. It all comes back to shame and the underdeveloped sense of self. This makes a person feel small, humiliated, worthless, shamed, and never good enough, and specifically with the sexual arena for the opposite sex. They'll feel like they're being judged constantly, they're being humiliated just by others even checking them out or giving them attention will feel very shameful. It'll lead to this sense of hate or rage towards the opposite sex, thus creating an extreme battle of the sexes, where the individual will be certain that men are evil or women are evil, when in fact it's not men or women that are evil, but rather there's an injury of shame being triggered within. Parents who don't reflect or mirror back to the child a sexual self will cause this damage. It will wreak havoc on the child's sense of confidence, but ultimately their ability to relate to others in a healthy and communicative way, which oftentimes leads to abuse, whether it's narcissistic abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, extreme rage towards anyone who triggers these sexual wounds. So I want to offer some tips on how to resolve this issue. because it's certainly not an easy one to do, ultimately because of how difficult it is to get in touch with one's sense of shame and one's individual sexual identity around it. It's imperative that one must heal, first of all, the childhood wounds. It comes back to the childhood wounds, it comes back to shame. This must be healed. These must be identified. The developmental traumas need to be identified, worked through, and healed. One needs to heal perceptions of sex, one's sexual identity, of women if you're a man, and men if you're a woman, and understand that we're all human beings. We have that in common. We are all equal in that way. So therefore, seeing men as the problem if you're a woman, or women the problem if you're a man, is certainly not going to solve the issue. It's only going to avoid one's inner sexual shame. So it comes back to facing oneself, self-reflection, self-correction, identifying one's own inner insecurities, vulnerabilities, shame, feelings of inadequacy that are surrounding sexuality in general is a difficult thing to do, because it takes an extreme journey into the self to heal aspects of ourselves that are damaged. Next, like I mentioned, heal the self, resolve the shame around the subject. Learn about what sex is meant to be for, what it represents, what's the point of it, and how it connects to intimacy. Sex is it's an expression of love. If it's not connected to love, it is oftentimes disconnected from its true source and what it is meant to be. It is not meant to be winning. It's not meant to be controlling. It's meant to be unconditionally expressing love, which is, again, disconnected from that aspect if there is no love in childhood. Learn to love one's differences, perceived flaws, sexual differences, without shaming oneself. And whether it's body shame, performance shame, feeling like you aren't good enough, or you're not good looking enough, or perhaps you are simply inadequate as a lover, realizing that this has little to do with it. It has much more to do with the fact that sex is meant to be connected to love, which is the heart, which is connected to intimacy, expressing your intimate feelings towards a partner, so that you could ultimately express this love and this connection and feel connected and feel healthy and feel loved by your partner. I know this is a difficult topic, so I appreciate you listening to this, and if it resonated with you, please do feel free to share it with those struggling. There almost always is a sexual aspect of abuse when it comes to narcissism, because ultimately there is always that shame that's deep down underneath that needs to be resolved. So if you are struggling with your shame, know that it is not embarrassing. It is not something to be embarrassed about. We all have shame. We all have things we're not proud of ourselves about. Ultimately, we need to heal those perceptions. We need to get in touch with what about sex we've learned and how we've embraced it, and what it is that we feel badly about ourselves that we project onto partners, making them feel like they need to come and either fix it, heal it, or take responsibility, when in fact we need to take responsibility for our own perceptions, our own wounds, our own shame, our own sexual hang-ups, and things that get in the way of our expressing that connection in the most loving, compassionate way. Expressing love is important. It's how we maintain our health. It's how we maintain our dignity as humans and our confidence and our ability to communicate in relationships. So thank you so much for listening. Until next time, all the best.